Hello and welcome. In this tutorial, I will guide you through the process of making your Solyn bag step by step. Before we begin, take a moment to prepare your workspace and check that you have all the pattern pieces, tools and materials listed on the reference sheet. Take the edge beveler and slowly, carefully chamfer the edges. The cleanest result comes from working one edge at a time. Keep a stable 45-degree angle. Use the reference sheet to check whether a given edge should be chamfered on both sides or only on the face side. These areas are marked in red. Prepare a small amount of water. Apply just a little to the edge, being careful not to soak the leather. While the edge is still damp, take the slicker and polish it by rubbing back and forth. The friction will gradually make the edge smooth and slightly shiny. Repeat this process for all leather pieces. Some edges are meant to be polished only after assembly. You will find those marked in red on the reference sheet as well. Now take the two small pieces marked D-ring on the reference sheet. Fold each piece in half, apply a small amount of water to the leather and polish it. Take the polished piece and fold it in half again, so the D-ring sits exactly in the center. Now you can begin sewing. Prepare 2 needles and measure the thread you'll need. As a general rule, the thread should be about 4 times longer than the seam you are about to sew, but for short sections like this one, it is better to leave a little more. For longer seams, you can divide the sewing into several stages so the thread does not become too long to work with comfortably. Thread 1 needle onto each end of the thread as shown. Let's Let's look at the stitch up close. I'm using contrasting colors here, so it's easier to follow and learn. Insert one needle through the first hole, keeping the thread even on both sides. Bring the needle at the back through the next hole so that both needles are now at the front of the piece. Hold the thread in place. Then take the needle from the first hole and pass it over the thread in the second hole, taking care not to pierce it. Pull both threads gently but firmly. This creates your first stitch. Continue in the same way with the stitches that follow. After a few stitches, the movement will begin to feel natural. Each time, pull the front thread downward and pass the needle over it. This helps keep the seam neat and even. This is the part where the stitch starts to behave. A few more stitches and the rhythm begins to settle in. Just a clean seam taking shape. One stitch, then the next. The rest follows. By now, the movement should feel a little more familiar. When you reach the end, go back one needle and one hole so that both ends of the thread are on the inside and form a double seam. Cut the thread, leaving 2 or 3 millimeters of excess. Gently singe the ends and immediately press them into the leather to flatten them. This will secure the end of the seam. You will finish the seam in 2 situations: when the seam is complete or when you reach the end of your thread. If you run out of thread, finish the seam in the same way, then continue from the same hole where you stopped. Sew on as before. Sew the D-ring piece to the inside of the gusset. After the first stitch, always check that the same length of thread remains on both needles. Remember to secure every seam by backstitching and melting the thread ends. Sew the second D-ring piece onto the other side in the same way until the gusset looks exactly as shown in the video. Now prepare the front section. Take the thicker half of the magnetic clasp and attach it to the front section in the same way as shown in the video. Then take the round patch and sew it onto the inside of the front section. At this point, the front of the bag is ready. In the next step, we will prepare the flap. Take the thinner part of the magnetic clasp and attach it to the small piece with 2 notches. Fold the protruding parts just as before. Turn the finished piece over and place it against the flap strap. Secure both pieces with a paper clip. To avoid scratching the leather, you can place the linen pouch included in the kit between the paper clip and the strap pieces. Take the flap strap and measure the length of thread you will need, approximately 4 times the length of the seam you are about to sew. Thread 1 needle onto each end of the prepared thread and begin sewing from the point indicated in the video. When you reach the end of the section with the magnetic fastening, place the strap against the flap, secure it again with a paper clip, and continue sewing. While joining these pieces, gently bend the flap. This makes the process easier because these parts are designed to naturally form a curved shape. Finish sewing at the same point shown in the video. Next, take the piece shown in the video, chamfer the edge, place it between the flap and the flap strap exactly as shown, and sew the other side of the flap strap. At this stage, the flap should look like this. All of the bag's pieces will be joined together in this same way. In the next step, prepare the gusset and the front of the bag. Apply a little water to the inside edge of the gusset and fold it as shown in the video. This will help the gusset hold its shape and make it easier to sew the gusset to the front of the bag, especially around the corners. Each time you make a stitch, remember to pull it tight. If you happen to cut less thread than you need and run out before finishing, simply secure the seam and begin again with a new length of thread. Avoid finishing the seam on a curve. It's better to start a new section before reaching it. Prepare the gusset in the same way before attaching the back of the bag. Apply a little water to the edge, fold it inward, and then sew on the back section. Once this is done, the finished main body of the bag will look like this. Now make 2 decorative stitches around the flap, starting and finishing the seam at the exact points indicated in the video. You can now sew the finished flap onto the main body of the bag. Begin with the seam at the bottom of the back of the bag. Take extra care while sewing the flap strap together with the flap and the back section. Then continue with the top seam. Finally, burnish the strap with the slicker. Before we move on, stay with this moment for a little longer. Hold your bag in your hands and take in what you've created. What began as separate pieces is now something whole, shaped by your own work and attention. This is your finished Solyn, and you should be proud of it. Solyn is available in 4 different colors. Each one offers a different mood, but the same quiet satisfaction of carrying something you made yourself.